experience, Judge Barnes now is getting that experience, is that when you sit behind a bench with a black robe and decide cases, it's a heck of a lot different than standing in front of a judge and talking about a case. There you have so many variables that you have to look at that this is a great question, but if I were me sitting as a district judge, I would be looking at the police report and trying to find out more about this individual. Thank you.
Well, in circuit court, I'm usually dealing with felons. So at that stage, it's usually we get up to the third offense and start getting into we really have some issues to deal with. So I guess as far as the question goes, kind of a tough thing to answer. First of all, you absolutely need to look at the circumstances. You need to see what the scenario is here. I will not put up with domestic violence. I will not put up with anything dealing with child abuse or spousal abuse. Those are my stands. Obviously following the law is going to be important, and obviously if it's a habitual problem where we have somebody who, this is their third time, but we have several other instances involved, it's definitely probably a necessity that they continue to do some PDT testing. I do agree with Judge Barnes in regards to the way the court is going, where it should be, it shouldn't be just automatic. It should be said, catch them off guard. That is exactly what should be done, so that you don't have people milking the system, because that's usually what ends up happening. Thank you.
People are entitled under our Constitution to have a reasonable bond set. It is the responsibility of the judge, whether it's a district court or a circuit court, to balance, to assess the risk amongst other factors, like whether the person will come back, what the danger is to the community. So to answer that question, there are cases when it's appropriate to require somebody to have random or daily PBTs, even though it's expensive. And there are times when it's not necessary, nor is it appropriate. It's a matter of judgment.
First, I just want to announce again that if anyone wants to submit a question to be asked of our candidate guests, please write it on one of these white cards and wave it, and somebody will come and get it and bring it up to us, okay? To all of you. We'll start with Mr. Jacobs, and we'll go down to the end and come back here and begin with Mr. Bill down to the middle of the row, okay? Numerous studies confirm, both nationally and here in our state, the majority of defendants entering the criminal justice system and the majority of people entering either jails or departments of correction suffer from drug, alcohol, or mental health issues. There has been, in many parts of the state, developed drug courts. Some county prosecutors and some judges in the state do not favor or will not participate in drug courts. I'd like to ask you, do you agree with the concept of drug courts? If so, do you believe that Bay County has enough of the various types of drug courts that are available? And when I say types, I'm referring to adult circuit, district court drug programs, driving while intoxicated treatment courts, family dependency treatment courts, juvenile drug treatment courts.
I fully support treatment courts. Here in Bay County at the district court level, we have one treatment court. That's Judge Lyden's courtroom, and that is partially funded through a grant. And it's only set up for individuals who have alcohol problems. If they have bipolar, if they have controlled substance problems, we presently do not have a program set up for that. Yes, we need it desperately. We need, as I said earlier, the majority of the people involved in the criminal justice system have mental health, drug, alcohol problems. We need treatment, not incarceration. level. We need, as I proposed with the veteran court, we need to get mentoring. We need to get the community involved. We need to get the mental health systems involved. Yes, we desperately need additional treatment courts. Thank you.
Steve was right. Our treatment court here in Bay County that Judge Plida handles, it addresses alcohol. It does not address drugs. It would be great if we could. A lot of it depends on funding. And as you know, in these times, our funding is limited. I talked with Judge Plida a couple weeks ago, and she heard about possibly extending it to veterans. And again, because of the post-traumatic stress disorders that some of them have. I'm not saying it's a huge problem, but we have that here in our community, and wouldn't it be great if we could address that also? And also, spending time with her and talking further, there's a relationship that's built in that type of court between the judge and the defendant. That since I put people in it, I've never experienced the court, but that's what happened. There's a relationship that occurs that over time, that you gain trust and support, and helps these people, you know, do away with these addictions. Thank you.
The treatment court that we now have, the alcohol court, was started by Judge Alston. I think many of you know that. It was the legacy that he left for us here as a way of addressing a need that he saw within our community. When he built that court, he looked around for people from the various agencies that treat in this community and the various branches of our attorneys. And he asked for participation from specific people, and I was the person that he chose to be on that committee with respect to the defense bar. So I traveled with him throughout the country, and I looked at treatment courts, and we built that court together. And the policies that are in place are there in no small part because of the collaboration between myself, Judge, then Prosecutor Sharon, Judge Alston. There's a definite need for treatment within the community. I think that's one thing that we all agree on. One thing I'm very pleased about is that we've got 2 circuit court candidates at the end of the table here who believe in this, because we have not had a circuit court judge, is that time or 10? We've not had a circuit court judge that wanted to take it on. Now we have that. So we need to access the grant funding that's there. We need to get out and make sure that we get that funding here in Bay County, because we have a need, and it will stop recidivism if we treat properly.
Have drug, mental health, drug, alcohol, and mental illness courts is simply another way of saying we're going to address the reasons that people come to circuit court on criminal events. And I think we don't have adequate systems in Bay County, and I have said since the beginning of my campaign that I pledge to do what I need to do, both as a judge who will take the time to participate in those courts, and as a person who would be able to assist in getting the grant funding, that I'm deeply committed to implementing those things here in the circuit court, because as Mr. Stevenson said, those are the reasons that people come to court. People aren't inherently bad. They have problems in life that need to be dealt with. The point, the objective should be to deal with them before it becomes irreversible.
I'm going to sound like a broken record. Obviously, it's very important. There's no question that we have a major problem out there when it comes to alcohol, drugs. Obviously, mental health is a major concern. In fact, I'm on board for a nonprofit dealing with trying to help indigents in that area. That is very important in our society. If those issues are taken care of. Unfortunately, we don't right now seem to have the resources and the programs to do that. And things need to be looked at both from a public and private area. I mean, we don't need to drain more out of our community. I mean, we're in bad economic times as it is,